Big Bear AI stock had a huge day yesterday in Monday's trading session, adding around 16% at the close compared to last Friday's close. So a massive day for Big Bear. And it does look bullish right now and looks as if it wants to move higher. So in this video, I'm going to analyze the price action of yesterday and last week and talk about some possible trading rules to get you into this trending stock. Let's take a look. Now, if you find value in my analysis of Big Bear AI stock today or other stocks on my channel, you might also find value in my email newsletter. If you subscribe, I'll send you professional trading tips to help you make more profits trading stocks. I'll leave a link in the description below. Check it out. So Big Bear was up 16% yesterday in Monday's trading session. A really big day. It did gap up from the price action last week. You can see the gap here. It opened at around 628. It really pushed up, and during the day on Monday, it made a high of around $7.22 before it closed about halfway down the bar at 679. So a really bullish day for Big Bear yesterday. And it does look as if this bar can close above this key level here of 678 for the week, it does look as if the buyers are looking to take this stock up to potentially this target of $10. So lots of potential profit for this trending stock. But we must remember it is still a speculative stock, so you have to be careful. We can see, looking at the daily chart for Big Bear, since this significant low here during the third week of April 2025, Big Bear has been trending up gradually, making consecutive higher highs and higher lows. And you can see I've added a daily chart trend line here, just confirming the stock is moving up. It's moved up gradually from this level of 235 until it met resistance at this level of around 450 during this week here in May 2025. It had a go here as well, got rejected around 441. Since that time, it has been moving sideways, but it has been finding support around 360. You can see this low here and low here around 360. So last week on the Monday, we can see that price action didn't do much, but it was Tuesday, the 24th of June, when Big Bear really took off and it broke above this key level here of 450. So the low on this day was 424. It traded up until about 524 and it closed just under the high. But of course, as discussed before, the following day the sellers came in and they did take some profit and price was pushed down. Price did reverse and it closed low around 480. But then Thursday, the buyers came back in and price elevated back up again. And it closed high, similar to the open of the previous day, around $5.80. Then on Friday, Big Bear opened at 589. It got sold off slightly to 555 and then closed high. So sellers had a good go on Friday to push the price down, but they couldn't push it lower than this level here, 554. And Big Bear ended up closing at 585. And of course, yesterday was a huge day for Big Bear. So price opened, it gapped up and opened at 629. It surged up during Monday's session to 720 and then closed around about 680. So I'm looking at the weekly chart for Big Bear. You can see I've marked up some key price levels. So I've marked up the key level of the all-time high, which is $16 for Big Bear. Underneath that, you can see I've marked up this price peak here of $10.31, a significant price peak created in February this year. Now underneath that, we've got this price peak here around about 681, and that was the peak created in the first week of February in 2023. Underneath that, we've got this level here around $4.50. Under that one, we've got this price trough created most recently in April this year. This is around 235. Then I've also added a line here to show support at $1.16 and the all-time low of 57 cents. So we can see, based on these key price levels on the weekly chart, that last week Big Bear blasted through this key level here of 456. It closed at 585, and this week one trading day, it's now blasted up again and taken out this resistance level here of 677. So basically within just a few trading days, it's gone through this level here and moved up to test this level here. And this week will be interesting to see if Big Bear can trade up and it can close above this key level of resistance at 677. If it can do that for this week, if it can close above 677 for this week, confirming that buyers are in control, there's a really good chance that Big Bear is going to keep moving up and challenge this next level of around $10. So if you're looking at Big Bear right now for a potential short to medium term trade, what sort of rules could you use to get into this stock? Now, we must remember BigBet AI is not profitable yet. It is a speculative AI stock. It is growing fast and it is trending. There's a lot of interest in this stock, but we know the price is volatile, so it is a bit more difficult to get solid objective rules. Having said this, if you look at the price action on the weekly chart, we can see that last week price action is really bullish. It's broken out, it's broken through this key price level of 455 and it's closed the other side. So clearly buyers are in control last week. And this week, based on one trading day, it does appear buyers want to take the price higher. We've got a gap, so it's gapped up, and over Monday's session yesterday, it did trade up high about to 723 and closed about halfway down the bar. Now, based on the fact that the price was up until 723 and it closed halfway down, obviously there was some selling pressure during yesterday's session, or the buying did slow down throughout the day, resulting in the price closing halfway down the bar. And you can see the close of that bar yesterday does correspond with this key price level of around 680. And why is that price level important? Why did it close around that level? Well, it could be because price previously got rejected there. So if you look back at this price peak here back in February 2023, price did trade up here aggressively. It surged up to this key level, but then the buying ran out and sellers began to take profits, resulting in the price reversing. So it does appear to be some resistance here at this key level. So this week, it'll be interesting to see if the buyers can take the price higher and the price does close above this key level, showing that they've broken through this potential level of resistance and the buying will continue. Having said this, if this key level is a resistance level like historically it was, we might get some selling pressure this week and this price might end up closing lower down the bar. Effectively, it's been rejected at this level. And you'd expect then the following bar, perhaps next week, price might fall back. There might be some more selling pressure down into this zone here, around about 550. And this would be normal based on the level of the breakout. Even if it does pull back to around 550, it's still only retracing about 50% of the initial move up. So there's still strength there, but you'd have to wait for an entry. So if you trade on the weekly chart and you're looking for a rule to enter this stock, something to consider would be that if Big Bear closes above this key price level here of 677 this week, for the week, so on Friday we see a close high above this line. Perhaps it closes at the top of this bar here. Perhaps it trades a bit higher. But you want to see a strong green bar for the week, showing the buyers are in control. If it does that, then that could be your signal to enter this stock next week on market open. And if you did that and you entered, let's say, around about the peak of this bar here, let's say $7.19, then on offer is a potential profit of 43% if Big Bear can get up to that $10 target. And potentially you could put your stop loss at the top of this bar here. So that's a 17% downside, giving you a risk to reward of 2.51. Don't forget, the stop loss has to be quite generous with Big Bear because of the price volatility. Don't forget, this is a speculative stock. It is speculative. There is higher risk when you trade this stock. You have to give it room to move around. So overall, Big Bear is looking bullish. I know some of you out there perhaps are already in this trade. You're holding Big Bear. Perhaps you've held it since around $4.55. If so, well done. Let's keep going. Now, if you're wondering about buying this stock, think carefully because it is a high risk stock. It is speculative. But if you wanted to take a trade on weekly rules, you could possibly enter next week if that price can close above that key level for the week to give confirmation. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you bullish on Big Bear? Do you think it can go to $10 or perhaps beyond? Thanks for watching.